Hello all, and welcome back to the Kpop podcast. I hope you're all doing very well. And in this podcast episode, we're going to be discussing WayV, EXO, and BTS. So I hope you enjoy what I have to say, and let's get on with the episode. Another interesting article has been mentioned in terms of BTS and their enlistment. I know we're still talking about it. It's still very topical. And the public have been so split on whether to send BTS to the military or not. And if you remember from my previous podcast, I was basically saying that I have a feeling that BTS, if they work together as a group, i.e. remain BTS, then it would probably absolve them from doing any military duties because basically BTS brings in so much money via tourism and concerts, etc., to the South Korean government. But I just think it's mathematically impossible for the members individually to generate as much money as they do for the Korean government unless they are together. So this news article stated that basically a decision is going to be made in December regarding BTS's enlistment. I do have a feeling that it will come down to them discussing with HYBE and kind of saying if they want to be separate, i.e. continue this hiatus, then BTS members will have to go to the army. But I think they'll give them an ultimatum or other choice saying if they want BTS to continue working as a group, then that will absolve them of going to the military. That's just my idea. It'll be very interesting to see what the overall result is of that judgment from the government, but that's my take on it. And speaking of BTS, of course, got to mention V and Jennie and their dating debacle. Personally, because this is the podcast, so I don't need to be as objective as I am in my TikTok analysis. Personally, I do believe that they're dating because even now, I'm sure you all know if you're listening to this that there have been lots of leaks of them together, and I know people have said that the photos are edited. You can believe what you want to believe on that. I mean, I can definitely see that they could be edited. If you realize, I wish people kind of read between the lines because HYBE and YG have actually not once denied V and Jennie's relationship. They haven't actually even mentioned, so if it's like YG, they just talk about Jennie, they don't mention V, and HYBE just talk about V and don't mention Jennie. Now, I believe it is YG and HYBE just say things like any malicious comments or whatever, those people are going to be sued, and that's kind of routine thing that companies state quarterly. But in terms of V and Jennie dating situation, I think it's YG has said that personal, private photos of Jennie obviously have been leaked and they will sue the leakers or the leaker. So that's not denying the photos. That's not denying these photos that have been uploaded of V and Jennie together, which all those dating photos have been leaked allegedly from Jennie's phone or Jennie's, I'm guessing it's from like a iPhone cloud. That's probably what got hacked. Not once has YG said these fake photos being spread around. They've actually just said these private photos of Jennie's have been leaked. We will sue the leakers. So that's not denying that the photos are real. It's actually confirming that they're real and their personal property that's been leaked. Now, do I agree with someone leaking someone's private photos? Of course not. And, I understand legally what YG are doing, if they do carry through with this. I never know with companies if they actually do follow through with legal stuff or if they just immediately kind of just like pay the person and get them to sign an NDA and be done with it, which is how I think they've managed to solve a lot of problems. And I'm talking about different companies for this. But obviously leaking is not good and I don't condone that. Just like literally reading the news and reading what they've said kind of confirms the relationship. But what it does confirm is that they definitely want to keep it private. And if they want to keep it private, then it should be kept private. And that's obviously the leaker's fault for doing that and making it public. Once it's in the public, it's in the public. There's not much that we can do. People are going to talk about it regardless. Hopefully the leaking stops there. And I know in my video I was discussing how great and positive it would be if V and Jennie went public as a couple, all the cool things that they could do and how it would push the industry forward. I highly recommend you check out my video if you want to hear my thoughts more in detail about that. But something recent kind of happened with ITZY's Ryujin, she basically made a comment about Crush and Joy's relationship. You know, Crush, the singer, and Joy from Red Velvet. I think they've been dating for a year now, but they've been public about that. Public in a sense that they confirmed the relationship and haven't done much since, have kind of kept it private. And Ryujin's kind of mentioned it because a comment on her radio show mentioned a little in-joke about Crush and Joy's relationship. It said something like, Crush should pay more taxes. And the in-joke of that is because Joy's so pretty, he should be paying more taxes. And I think the co-host with her kind of asked, what does that comment mean? Because Ryujin laughed about it. She kind of whispered to her co-host that it was about Crush and Joy, their relationship. Yeah, the very negative response came from that. A lot of people were really angry that she mentioned the relationship. I don't think she was making fun of it at all. It was like a joke, an in-joke with the relationship. She called Joy, 선배님, so she was being respectful. But yeah, people really didn't like it, kind of bringing up other people's private matters, which, I don't know, she was just confirming a relationship that's already been confirmed. So I'm on the fence about that one. Crush apparently on his Instagram story mentioned something about, alluded to it. He didn't confirm that he was talking about that incident. I don't think it was anything too negative. I think he was just saying he's taking the high road on it. What I'm trying to say is, even just whisper mentioning of that relationship by someone else who's not from the same company or anything got so much backlash. And it kind of showed to me then and there that especially with Korean culture, Korean society and idols in general and their dating life, it shows that you do not talk about it unless the two people want to talk about it. That's it. No one else can talk about it or mention it or anything. It makes sense to me now why V and Jennie and their companies are especially vehement about keeping the relationship really private and not talking about it. I get it now. I understand that that's kind of the way things are. That's the culture. I do understand that also people get worried about if you reveal you're in a relationship or that you date, kind of the value of you as an idol goes down. I understand that's probably a big part of it as well, but I also think it's just the keeping relationships private is very important just overall. Yeah, it was just interesting to kind of read into another controversy and kind of apply it to this one and understand it a bit more. I quickly wanted to mention that Chanyeol is now back from the military, which is, as an Exo-L. I'm extremely pleased about that. He did a live stream and it was just very, very joyous. Of course, I'm immediately thinking EXO comeback. I think that Chanyeol will have a solo album. He mentioned it before while he was in the military. So I think that Chanyeol's going to release a solo album, which will be good, honestly. If you want to listen to Chanyeol's voice, of course he's done an album with Sen. Some of my favourite songs with Chanyeol singing in it is Exo-K, Thunder. Do you remember those days, fellow EXO fans? Exo-K and Exo-M? Oh, I miss them. Thunder, Chanyeol has great vocals in that. Heart Attack, really like him in that. Don't Go, oh, he's great in that as well. And Run, if you want to listen to Run, just excellent. So I really want to have a Chanyeol solo album. I think it would be excellent. He can play the drums, the piano, he sings, he raps, and of course he has such a unique husky low voice that I think it would be really good. In terms of an EXO comeback overall, I do think possibly they could. Okay, you tell me, do you think SM are going to squeeze out one more EXO album before Kai enlists? Or Kai will get a third solo album and complete his trilogy? What do you think they'll do? I think that EXO would make more money as a comeback, as a group, because also I think Kai's obviously, if you realize, he's been doing a lot of solo performances. I believe he's going to perform in Berlin soon. Kai likes to perform his solo music, so I think if he releases a solo album and then immediately enlists because he has to in January, yeah, it's kind of what was the point of releasing that solo album if he's going? But I know that Baekhyun did that, so never say never. I mean, if SM want to be very kind to me, to us, then they can release Chanyeol solo, EXO comeback, and then a Kai solo, because I'm greedy. Leave me alone. And of course, I want to talk about Xiumin and his solo album release. When the song came out, Brand New, that's the name of the album, that's the name of the title track. Okay, immediately, first thoughts, it wasn't my thing. Okay, I'm sorry. This always happens most of the time whenever members do solo projects. Their taste doesn't actually suit my taste. I actually prefer the group's music compared to the solo members' tastes. That doesn't happen all the time. I adore Jaehyun from NCT. Anything he releases solo is beautiful. Taeyong as well. And then, of course, I love everything Kai has released. It's probably been my favourite solo two albums. But I love Baekhyun's Bambi album. Is just makes me want to fly to the moon. It's incredible. And of course, Dio. Anything Dio sings, I'll be there. So yeah, it's just my taste, it's preference. Definitely, I really recommend, if you've only heard Brand New once, definitely listen to it some more. And I think you'll really get into it. That's usually what happens, especially with SM music. Haven't you found that like with SM music, most of the time, you need to listen a few more times and then you get really into the song. I mean, that happened to me with NCT 127's Two Baddies. When it first came out, did not like it, didn't get it. Just thought it was like noise music, listened to it 10 times and then finally it's clicked, and I love Two Baddies. I think it's great. I can listen to it all the way through and like hear the melody and love it. Same thing has happened with Schumann's solo album. Brand New, highly recommend you just listen to it a few more times, and then you'll get really into it. I wanted to say fun trivia on Brand New, produced by the same guy that made Kai's song on his Peaches album, To Be Honest. Same producer, interesting. And also there is a key SM producer, I believe his name is Yoo Young-jin, who, oh my god, all the way back from Super Junior, probably even TVXQ, to be honest. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he helped make Mirotic by TVXQ. He's been so involved in EXO's music as well. I've heard this man's voice in so many SM songs. You hear him as a backing vocalist and things like that. I'm pretty sure that sometimes they merge his voice with the artists as well. For instance, in Jopping, for the high note in Jopping, you definitely hear him there. You hear him in EXO's What Is Love, EXO-K's, and obviously Dio's Tell Me What Is Love. You can hear him in Brand New. Like I guarantee that he helped make that song, or at least did the backing vocals for that. But if you like his voice, then you'll like the songs. Also, Schumann did a song with Mark. Highly recommend that song as well. It's called How We Do. Good on them. Good on Schumann. Like the album. I can just have it on in the background. What did you think of it? Did you like it or did you skip over it? And I quickly wanted to mention WayV, good old WayV. Quick summary of what's been happening. Yang Yang and Win Win went to Thailand. They did food truck battles or food truck wars. And they also did some performances this month of October. Win Win will be joining WayV and they will be performing in Southeast Asia together. And I'm just ecstatic because to me that signals gearing up for a WayV comeback, putting them all out there. The fact that Win Win is back in Korea, he would only be here if it's for a comeback. Otherwise he would stay in China and keep doing all the work he's doing there. So clearly it's like contractual obligations why he's here. I definitely think that WayV are going to have a comeback. I think they're going to have it in November. Let's see. I hope they do. Honestly, I hope they do. Like, it just depends on, I don't know if 127 are going to release a repackaged album or they're not doing that this time. Because if they are, 127 will have November to do that. And then December will be the WayV comeback. But we shall see. Also, in terms of Lucas's return, definitely think he is going to return. And the reason why that is very recently, SM released anniversary post of SuperM, 3-year anniversary congratulatory post. That also gives me hope that SM haven't given up on SuperM, so thank goodness. Let me know if you love SuperM as much as I do. First album wasn't my favourite, but their second album, oh my goodness. I definitely think that Lucas will return because SuperM was mentioned and they released a dropping dance practice video, which I honestly thought that they were going to... Well, first of all, I was shocked that they released that. And the reason why I was shocked is because I thought that SM had given up on SuperM. So I'm really glad that they didn't. And then secondly, I really thought that they were going to blur out Lucas's face and they didn't. So it's like, okay, he's definitely still part of SM. I really do think that he will come back for this comeback. I am uncertain on WayV's future after this comeback, but at least we get a comeback. And I hope that we will get it with all 7 members. And that's it for this podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then hit the subscribe button. I will be posting probably another podcast episode as a reaction to the Stray Kids comeback and any other comebacks that occur. I am very much looking forward to the Stray Kids comeback and I hope you are too. I'm sure I'll have a lot of thoughts. Comment below if you agree or disagree. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!